Hey everybody, it's the Trout and welcome to another episode of the Trout Show. Thank you so much for stopping by. One of the things that I loved talking about is talking about the people I get to visit with, some of the most talented artists out there. And the episode today is a prime example of that. Joanne Shaw Taylor is a wonderfully talented blues guitar player and singer, songwriter. And I had the privilege of visiting with her last year. And now she sat down and talked to me for a few minutes this year about what she's just had. She's getting released, has already released new music, getting ready to release a new album. Talked about her tour. But more importantly, we talked about one thing that's one of the things we both like. And this is a little dog right here. We both have dogs. That's Hank. Now, Hank, a dachshund. The interesting thing about this was a year ago when I spoke to Joanne, she was just going to go get Hank, and now he has started living the great life of being on a tour with one of the great artists out there. So we talked about Hank, we talked about Joanne, and she's just a fun person to visit with. And I love her music, and I think she's just a great person. So what else can I say? Except if you want to know more about Hank, and you want to learn about what's going on with Joe Bonamassa and the tour that she's going to be on next year, and everything else that's going on with her life, stick around, watch, or listen to this episode because you're going to learn all of that on this episode with Joanne Shaw Taylor next on The Trout Show. Nice to see you again. I'm glad you're doing well.
You too, love.
Let's just talk about what you're doing. Talk about your new music you just got out.
We're currently on tour. I'm in Fort Lauderdale. We've got a new album coming out June 7th, Heavy Soul. And we've gone for a different tactic this time. We're releasing every track as a single. So
Ooh.
fans have heard quite a few right now. They've heard Sweet Little Lies and A Good Goodbye. I think we most recently just released Someone Like You, which is a Van Morrison cover.
Yep, I just listened to it.
Yeah, so the feedback's been lovely. And I'm thrilled with the album. It's a nice little jump from Nobody's Fool, which was kind of a bit of a departure for me, kind of back from that into more roots music. So tracks are going down really well live. They're fun to play and everyone seems to be digging it. So,
well, that's the good news, right? That's what it's supposed to.
The bad news is I'm delirious and these are all lies. No, yeah, no, it's all going really good.
Did it seem to me that you've taken a little, I know you went back to roots, but it seems a little bit slower, more, music is more, I don't know how to say it.
It's not an aggressive album.
Yeah, it's not yeah, that's a good word. Yeah, it's not, you're not just jumping on your telly and jumping down and playing a bunch of stuff, which is you're good at, but I didn't see that much. And I watched the videos and you're kind of hanging out and mellow, more of a mellow type, as you said, not as aggressive.
To be honest, it's because I'm old.
Oh, you're not that old.
I'm old and lethargic. And no, it was an intentional thing. I mean, there's some funky stuff on there and some more up-tempo stuff for sure. But, it's like with any album, I never really have a set agenda of like, okay, we need 4 up-tempo, we need 4 mid-tempo.
Yeah.
But, it was just a case of these are the strongest songs that we've done. So that's the album, I don't want to put a song on an album that I don't think is as good as the rest just because it lifts, the vibe up or... So yeah, it's one of those things that I think the best policy is to pick the best songs,
Do you, when you're on the road, do you write very much while you're on the road? Or do you do most
I am
of
at the moment because I'm actually recording again. We're doing another album when I get off the road in May, so...
Yeah, I figured when I looked at your tour schedule, I said, I bet she's going back to the studio in June.
Yep.
Yeah, because then you're going to Europe again.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's our little break for me to go do more work.
And you're on the Bonamassa tour next year, aren't you? On the boat thing, I think I saw your name.
Yeah, we're doing another one of the Keeping the Blues Alive at Sea tours, which is cruises rather, which is my favorite thing in the world. I love those.
Oh, that's got to be fun. I mean,
It's
come on.
great. I mean, I'm basically locked on a massive boat with all my closest friends and my band, plus a bunch of music that I know.
But you get all those people that want to hear it. You get to be in touch with your not that you're not, but those are your fans. Those are people that they can come up and talk to you and say how things are going. And
well, that's the really nice thing because it's always nice to meet fans. But usually, if it's after a show, I mean, firstly, I don't do the merch table thing anymore. It got too much.
I remember that you told me that last year. You said because of being sick and all that stuff.
Yeah, if I get you know, if one of the guys in the bands gets sick, we can still play. But unfortunately, if the singer gets sick, it's, you know, you're going to start cancelling shows, and so we got to live in a little bit of a bubble. So if you do see fans, it's quickly afterwards for a quick, you know, and they know they don't have much time to get the photo and get the signature and have a quick chat. Whereas on the boat, because they see you going in and out of elevators and, you know, you meet them in the casino and then you see them.
You can't run away.
So, but people are just more relaxed because they know they're going to get time with you. So you kind of, it's nicer to get sort of slightly deeper connections, I suppose, you know.
I think that's really great. I think
it's lovely.
You know, because the fact is, they want to know. I think most people do want to know more about their artist. Some people maybe they don't, but you know, and sometimes this is my thoughts about it. Anytime I meet somebody famous, or let's just say I wanted to meet somebody really big, I don't know if I want to meet him or not, because
I think
you meet them, you're like, oh man, I wish I'd never met this person. You know, they're not nearly as
how
nice
everyone feels about me on that boat. So now they leave me alone. No,
I would know better than
no,
that.
I know. You never meet your heroes, right? But yeah, and it's nice. It's just more relaxed, you know, because then fans are better with you because they know, she's just eating a sandwich. Let her eat a sandwich. You know, I'm going to see her later anyway when she's outside watching Bonamassa play. So it's definitely more of a relaxed vibe, and people kind of, you know, see you outside of the stage makeup and the fancy outfits. They see you strolling around in your shorts with no makeup on, trying to find a Starbucks at 9 o'clock in the morning. And like, that's a common thing of like, because there's no coffee or tea in your rooms. So you got to get up, go find coffee.
It's been a while since I've been on a cruise. You're right. They don't have coffee makers or anything in them. Yeah, they're too small.
Yeah. So people are like, hey, can I have a photo? I'm like, you can, but can we like wait till like I've had one cup of coffee? I'm like, yeah, go ahead.
You know, I've always wondered when I talk, you know, and people of the famous of like Paul McCartney or Eric Clapton. I mean, how do they get away from people? They just, you know, they just have to. You can't, you know, you can't be rude, but you got to be telling them like, I'm having breakfast.
You know what? I think actually I met Paul McCartney once, and I think that had an impression on me. I think you have to embrace it. And because I used to be really, before COVID, I was kind of burned out, and it got more and more that I didn't want to meet people, which is my fault. You know, I just got very anxious about it. And you realize that and I had a lot of bad experiences as well. But when I say a lot, I mean, if there's one dude that's drunk and trying to put his hand somewhere he shouldn't when taking a photo, unfortunately, if 80 people have been nice, you remember that one dude, don't you?
Sure you do. Yeah.
But I was at the Diamond Jubilee performing with Annie Lennox. Clang, name drop.
Sorry.
But Sir Paul was there, and you know, we're all just like kind of slowly walking back to the green room area after it's done. And I was kind of shivering, and I heard this Liverpudlian accent of like, would you like my jacket, love? That's my Liverpudlian accent. It's terrible. Sorry, I'm on my tour manager's laptop, and Devon Orman, who he also works for, is sending him text messages. So I don't know if you
That's
can.
all right. Don't worry. No worries.
Oh, hey, Devon. But it's like, oh no, I'm fine. But you just kind of think if one of two remaining living Beatles is kind enough to offer a stranger his jacket and happy to have a conversation with you, then you've got no excuse to not.
Oh yeah, what are you going to do? Nah, get away from me. Who are you anyway?
You know, so unless you've got a cold, I'm good. But if you do, let's talk like 5 feet apart.
Well, I had the privilege of interviewing Eric Clapton's people that put together Crossroads, not the concert, but the actual physical place in Antigua. And
the rehab.
Yeah, the rehab facility. And I talked to the CEO, who's a real close friend of Eric's, and I said, what's it like going anywhere with him? I said, if people ask you for stuff, he goes, it's like they bring guitars, albums, pictures. And I'm going like, yeah, man, that would be like, after a while, you're like, no wonder you have to embrace it, I guess, to a certain degree. But the other part of it is, that's your base. That's who people, that's who got you there.
Yeah, and I love that. I think most people, I mean, I certainly feel, hey, if you're going to turn, like we had a chap the other day waiting outside the bus at like 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
As soon as we got there. And he just wanted his guitar signed. And it's like, if you're going to make the effort to travel to the gig, like 9 hours before it starts, because you really want my signature, absolutely. But that goes both ways, because I was still in my pajamas, hadn't even brushed my teeth. My dog had diarrhea, so I was trying to rush him to an emergency vet. And it's like, I will sign your guitar, but my TM bring it on. I'll quickly sign it because I got it somewhere else.
I got to go. Speaking of Hank, how is old Hank doing?
He's good. He had an upset tummy for 5 days, bless him. But the vet reckoned he was just a little bit depressed, which was slightly annoying because I'm like, he's on a tour bus
Yeah,
with
he's
all
not.
his pets that he loves.
Well, I would think all the people that are always hanging out with him all the time.
Oh, he
I
loves the
mean,
boys.
come on.
There's
You
just
know,
so
it's
many
like,
blocks for him to try and rip off boys' feet, which is his favorite thing to do. Um, so yeah, he's good. He's on the tour bus right now with my TM, having belly scritches and all the good stuff.
I think that was one of the coolest things is when we talked last, you were just leaving to go get him. That was
Yeah,
you were going home to go get him.
and you're gonna hate this, but the reason I have to go at 3 o'clock is
Yeah.
because, well, one, I've got a sound check, then we've got like a
Oh,
VIP
no,
sound
no.
check. But
This is
also my
about,
label's coming at 3 o'clock because they bought a GoPro and a doggy harness, so Hank can do a tour diary and they want to show me how it works. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I can figure it out. I am a millennial. Um, but yeah, that's my business. That's my
well,
average.
that's what you get paid the big bucks for, right? Go around and play guitar, sing a few songs, and get Hank to get autographs.
Yeah, and also if the camera's on Hank for 12 hours, I get to see who's giving him those extra treats that's giving him diarrhea. So that's like my main motivation of,
Well, not only that, Hank starts putting on a little weight because he's like, Hank, that touring's kind of putting some
someone's
weight on
giving
you.
him baby bells. I know it because it's not the boys eating that many baby bells.
You mean the little cheese things? Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
that's
Oh,
his
he loves those?
favorite.
Oh, okay.
Anything cheese. So someone's giving him baby bells when I'm not there.
So you're on the East Coast the rest of like this month and next month.
Pretty much, yeah. We're in Fort Lauderdale and we go up to North Carolina tomorrow, I think.
And then you take the month. I'm not saying you're going to take it off because you're going to be working. And then how long? I didn't look to see. And how many? A couple months in Europe, or how long are you going to be over there?
I'm gonna go for a few weeks, just to catch up with family and stuff, but we're really only working for like a week or two. We've got some fly out festivals in like Finland and Holland and stuff,
So
and then
where are
we're
you
back.
basing out of? You going to the UK?
Yeah, I'm gonna go stay with some friends
Oh,
in
okay, cool.
I'll be either where I grew up in the West Midlands or in London with my dad. Just kind of
That's
catch up with.
nice.
Yeah, it's lovely.
And then you can do what you got to do and say, I'll see you in a couple of days. Be back and before you go back to your
Exactly.
home state, where I know that is. That I still don't understand why you live there, but you do.
Do you
So
know I moved?
no, you're not in Detroit anymore?
No, I'm in Tennessee. I'm in Nashville.
Ah,
Can
okay.
you not tell by the accent change?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, sure. It's a British Southern accent.
sure is. Not for nothing.
Well, okay. Why did you do that? You want to get closer to all the
Um,
people, and that's a different genre down there. That's all country down there.
yeah, well, it's just the hub of the music industry right
Oh,
now.
sure.
And that's
Yeah.
kind of country's kind of blended into Americana, which is, if you
Yeah.
listen to Lainey Wilson or Grace Potter, it's like blues rock country.
Anymore. That's exactly
Yeah,
right.
it's just music at this point. A few reasons. One, sick of the Detroit winters.
Yep.
Two, a lot of my close friends had moved out of Michigan anyway for warmer weather. My management is based in Nashville. Joe's in Nashville, who is best mate, so he's only like 2 streets over from me. So
You mean one of his four houses he has. He's got a New York, he's got
it's only three.
LA.
It's only three. Let's not exaggerate.
Okay. New York, Nashville, and LA. Is that
Hmm.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, which is nice because obviously he's gone on the road a lot. So if he needs me to look after his place or I got a package needs picking up, he'll go shove it in.
That
So
guy that guy's never takes a day off.
no, it's infuriating.
I watch him. I watch his schedule. I see him, and I go like, this guy. When does he have time to talk to people? But then I see him go to Norm's out in L.A., and I'm going, oh, he's buying another guitar.
He can't sit still. I mean, it's literally. I mean, I stayed with him for a few weeks when I was moving down there to find a place, and the guy's up at 7 o'clock in the morning vacuuming. Like he has to do something, and then he's running out.
Oh, one of
Got a
those
sandwich? I'm gonna go
guys.
get a sandwich. Yeah, okay, I'll have a sandwich. Yeah,
How
it's
long?
just
How long have you known Joe?
15 years.
Oh
15
wow.
years, I think now. This summer.
Hasn't he been a, not to speak about Joe Bonamassa, but has he been a huge catalyst to helping you become where you are to a certain degree?
Yeah, I
I
mean,
know you're on his label and you're doing some stuff with him still.
yeah, I mean, he's been a huge even, I mean, we've only been working together for like 3 years, but before that, I mean, to have a friend who's does what you do, but is obviously at a far greater level than you. From, I mean, when I met him, he just sold out Royal Albert Hall for the first time, like 2 days prior. So he'd obviously just made that leap up to the big boy level. But to have someone like that, I mean, also on a personal level of being able to phone and go, hey, I'm stuck out here and I've got to drive from Maine by myself to here. And, you know, they sit on the phone and talk to you while you're driving because they've done that and they've been there and they know you're tired and, you know.
Well, they know, yeah, absolutely. And I've talked to the gentleman at the Cold Stairs, which is on the same label. He's a good friend of Joe's, and he talked to me about buying and selling guitars.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, it's been a while since I talked to him. And I said, well, I saw this one go up for sale. And he goes, oh, Joe's probably already bought it by the time I get around to buying it.
Yeah, and then things like that. I mean, I'm not a gearhead. So, like, I just texted him the other day going, hey, I've got this problem with my amp. I don't know what it is. Who do we know who can fix it? He's like, have your tech film a video for me of what it's doing. Send it to him. Right, it's this. You need to send it to Todd. I've just texted Todd for you.
That's cool. What are you playing out of now?
We are in Fort Lauderdale at the...
No. What are you playing? What's your amp this time?
Oh, I got 2 62 Fender Bassmans.
Oh, okay.
Well, right now I got 1. The other one's just a dummy until I get it to Todd, whoever Todd is.
All right. Well, you know, it's almost time for you to go.
I know you're sad to let me go.
It's always a pleasure to talk to people like you because I love seeing people like you do well. And I'd like to connect you sometime when you're back in the States. There's a phenomenal guitarist. It's 15. He'll be 16 this year. He lives in Nashville, and he's a blues guitarist.
I think you mentioned him to me last time.
I may have. And
what's his name, love?
Danny, well, he goes by Guitarwood on Instagram, but it's Danny Garwood. And look him up on Instagram. I wouldn't be surprised
if Joe knows who he is, to be honest.
And yeah, he's phenomenal. He plays around there, but of course, he'll be here at the Dallas International Guitar Festival in May. They'll be doing again. But he's just a great player. He's 15 now, 16.
Okay. 2 of my friends are following him. Leilani Kilgore, who's amazing, and Shannon Kaufman also.
Yeah. He's a great kid too. And I love to see people like that succeed because they were born to play.
This fella?
Yep, that's him.
He's a little sweetie.
He's very short. I saw him
15. Everyone's short when they're 15.
Well, no, but I mean, he's comparatively to most 15-year-olds. And I don't mean that he's probably grown up now. It's been a year since I've seen him. So, well, anyway, thanks so much. I appreciate I still appreciate talking to you to see how you're doing. Too, love. I'm more concerned about Hank. Of course, you do know that because he's
living the dream.
I have 3 Goldens, and that's one of them is in the hospital today getting her.
No.
Well, she's getting spayed. We decided to.
Hank's
that problem
Hank's
take care.
Got that coming up, not to.
Yeah, don't tell him. I got another one out there. He goes in Thursday for the same thing. We just whisper.
I've tried twice. January, the vet got COVID, and then we rearranged, and then there was a snowstorm, so the vets was closed. And it's like, yeah, God is dog spelled backwards. God is a dog.
A lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
And I tell them that, and they're like, oh my God, I never thought about that. Yes, that's why they're called dogs, because they're like gods to the rest of us to take care of and all that stuff. So,
well, here's a spoiler alert as well. If you do want to keep an eye on my Instagram, there's probably a video going up today of when we pulled in the venue. 2 policemen were on horses.
Yeah.
And Hank has never seen a horse, and it's a new growl that I have never heard before.
Is this like on your IG? It's on Instagram?
Yeah,
is that what it is?
Like a deep, sinister, like, I dare you to come over here and mess with my mother.
All right. Well, you take care. It's a pleasure always talking to you. Tell Hank I said hi.
Will do.
Have a great finish tour, and I look forward to hearing more of your music.
Thank you, love. All right, be well.
You too. See you. Bye.
Yeah.